Okay, so you love your cat, right? Of course you do. But what if I told you that some of the most normal, everyday things you do might actually be hurting your bond with them? In this explainer, we're going to dig into how even the best intentions can go wrong, and, most importantly, how to make it right. So let's just jump right in with a question that might feel a little prickly, but it's something every single one of us who loves a cat needs to ask. Are we, totally by accident, causing them stress or fear?
And that right there, that's the absolute kicker. This isn't about people being mean to their cats. This is about the blind spots. The damage often creeps in so quietly that we don't notice until one day we look over and think, my cat seems kind of distant or stressed, and we just can't figure out why.
All right, so let's get right into it. First up, we're going to look at the most direct ways we affect our cats, through our own actions, starting with how we react when they, misbehave.
This is probably one of the biggest misunderstandings between humans and cats. We think we're disciplining them for scratching the sofa, but a cat's brain just doesn't connect those dots. When you yell, it doesn't think, oh, scratching is bad. It thinks, my human is terrifying and unpredictable. You become the scary thing, not the action.
And this isn't just a theory, it has real, measurable effects. A study in animal cognition actually found that cats who are yelled at consistently show clear signs of stress. You'll see them hiding more, they might flinch when you walk by, and that look you think is them being moody? Nope, that's fear.
Oh boy, this next one is a biggie, and pretty much everyone has done it. Wiggling your fingers for your kitten to pounce on seems so cute and harmless, but what you're actually doing is programming a really dangerous lesson into their brain, that human skin is a toy, a chew toy, a thing to be hunted. The good news? The fix for this is so easy. Just stop, like right now. From this moment on, grab a wand toy or a little mouse. This lets them be the awesome little hunter they're meant to be, but it puts a safe distance between their teeth and your skin. It's a win-win. Okay, so we've talked about punishment, but what about affection? Well, it turns out that even the way we show love can get completely lost in translation. So here's where our worlds totally collide. To us, swooping in and picking up our cat is an act of pure love, but to them, having their feet suddenly leave the ground can trigger a deep, primal fear. In their world, the only time that happens is when a predator has snatched them up. You've just removed all of their control.
And we've got the science to prove this isn't an exaggeration. Even if your cat just goes limp and tolerates it, their body could be telling a very different story. Researchers found that their systems can get flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. They're not relaxed, they're in survival mode.
So what's the alternative? How do you build that real, trusting bond? It's simple. You give them the power. Sit on the floor, make yourself small and available, and then you wait. When a cat chooses to climb into your lap, that connection is built on trust, and it's 1,000 times more meaningful than a forced cuddle.
All right, let's zoom out a bit. We've covered our actions, now let's talk about the world we build for them, their environment. And we're going to start with one of the most sensitive spots in their entire territory. Has this ever happened to you? The litter box is pristine, you just scooped it, and your cat still decides to pee on the rug. It is infuriating, right? Well, 9 times out of 10, the problem isn't how clean the box is, it's where the box is. I mean, think about it from their point of view. When they're in there, they can't easily defend themselves or make a quick getaway. Their instincts are on high alert. So if you've put that box in a cramped closet with no escape route or right next to the thundering washing machine, you've basically built them a tiny house of anxiety. The whole goal here is to make them feel secure. And feline behavior experts agree. The perfect spot is quiet, with a wide open view so they can see what's coming, and at least a couple of ways out. Give them that, and you're not just solving a bathroom problem, you're removing a massive source of daily stress from their life. Okay, moving on to something that affects their health from the inside out. Every single day. Often without us having a clue what's actually in their food bowl.
10%. Take a good look at that number. That's about how much moisture is in the average dry cat food. And honestly, it is the source of a huge, often invisible, health problem for so many cats.
See, here's the biological scoop. Cats evolved as desert hunters. They are physically designed to get most of their water from their food, from the prey they catch. They just don't have a strong thirst drive like we do. So if they're only eating dry kibble, they're likely living in a constant state of low-grade dehydration.
And that hydration gap you see on this chart, it has serious long-term consequences.
It puts a ton of strain on their kidneys and can lead to things like painful urinary crystals and even kidney disease, two of the most common and heartbreaking health issues cats face.
The fix, thankfully, is incredibly simple, and it could literally add years to their life. Just adding 1 serving of wet food a day makes a world of difference. And you don't have to break the bank to do it. There are fantastic options out there for every single budget.
Okay, so let's tie all these threads together now. We've talked about our actions, their space, and their food. Now let's look at the big picture, a stress cycle that so many of us, with the best intentions, are trapped in.
This quote, right here, is the key to everything. We might think a quiet, clean, predictable home is perfect, but for a cat, a tiny predator hardwired for stimulation, it can be a prison. A boring environment is a stressful environment. Period.
And here's how that vicious cycle works. The boring home makes them stressed and understimulated. That stress comes out as bad behavior, like scratching the furniture. We see the behavior and react negatively. Maybe we yell. Well, that just pours fuel on the fire, making them even more stressed. And round we go, never realizing the root cause was the environment we created.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to this: trying to see your home through their eyes. It's not just your living room. It is...
Subscribe.